All right, what's on the bench? It's an Agilent 66309D. It is a power supply, and thanks to my patrons for supporting the channel, allows me to buy some things now and then. And I've been looking at these for quite some time now, and I found a good price on this one. I paid $120 for this, and these retail are about $4,800, something like that, $4,800. They're very expensive new, and $120 was a good deal, I believe. But I think a lot of people would pass this over because they really just don't understand it. The specs don't seem too exciting, and so they would just skip it. But I'm going to show you that these are quite clever devices, and if you need them, you need them. And so first of all, it's volts and amps, so you get to set something. So you can say voltage, I want 5 volts, and we haven't enabled it yet, but the voltage is now set at 5. The current is going to default to its max current, and it's 3 amps. It defaults to just a little bit. That's the default number, just over 3 amps, but you can program it up to 3 amps, and you can set that with the current button. So voltage and current. And then you hit the meter button, and you can see what's going on, okay? If we turn it on, we should get our 5 volts. There it is, and we're not drawing any current. We're in constant voltage mode. It does constant voltage, constant current. Let's see what else about it. It's GPIB programmable. I have it set to address 11 right now. And there's memory locations. Yeah, it does all the normal stuff, okay? Let's take a look at the data sheet before we go any further. And it does have a noisy fan, so that's one big drawback on these things. They have noisy fans, but other than that, so I'll try to run this through a filter, get rid of the noise, but it's going to be noisy. So they build several of these called mobile communication DC sources. And what these are designed to do is to act like a battery. You can see here that in the picture here, they're showing you testing cell phones. And the reason that you need a different type of power supply if you're going to be testing cell phones is that batteries act different than power supplies do. All right? And so let's just kind of look at a quick look at the data sheet here. We have the 66309, and it's 0 to 15 volts, 0 to 3 amps, but it can handle peak currents up to 5 amps. In fact, you can kind of squeak it into even 7 amps. So batteries are that way. Batteries don't like to be using a lot of current, but when you spike them, they can handle quite a bit of current before they do much. The chemicals keep you from drooping too far. And this does that. It allows you to, even though it's a 3 amp power supply, it allows you to have little peaks and stuff up to 5 amps. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty accurate. So you can set this thing within 0.05% in voltage and current. Let's see, let's go down. A low ripple and noise, 1 millivolt, 2 milliamps current, load regulation, 2 millivolt, line regulation, 0.5 millivolt. But this is the thing you're paying the money for, is the response time. So this power supply will follow the load and regulate the voltage, and it has a less than 35 microsecond feedback loop, right? So it's very, very fast in settling. Sometimes you'll get a current spike on other power supplies, and the voltage will ramp way up or ramp way down. This one holds it nice and constant. 35 microsecond. What does 7 say? Applies to the negative portion output waveform following a 0.1 amp to 1.5 amp load range change. So yeah, whack! A whole amp is being amp 0.4 is being changed, and this thing will quickly get to the settling point within 35 microseconds. So yeah, pretty cool. All right. one of the things special, like I said, there's a whole bunch of different versions of this. One of the things special about mine is that it has a second output. Now, the second output is not as good as the first output. It doesn't have all those really fancy specs. It's still okay, but it's meant to be, this is meant to replace the battery, and then this one is meant to replace the battery charger. So you can use this to test your battery charging circuits, and you can use this to test your battery, okay? And so let's take a little bit further look. All right, so here is the operation range of this thing, 0 to 15 and 0 to 3 amps. It extend out here to 5 amps if the peaks are less than 7 milliseconds. So quick little peaks, it can handle that extra current. You can set constant voltage lines or constant current lines. And then look at this, boom. It actually has a current sync capability. So you could actually use this to test your charging circuit, right? So it will handle syncing capability, current syncing from minus 1.2 amps at 15 volts down to 2.8 amps at 0 volts. So yeah, you can think of normal voltages, it's going to be able to sync about 2 amps. So that's pretty cool for testing your charging circuit, right? And then this is the load line for the second channel. Just 0 to 1.5 amps, or peaks up to 3 amps. So it's just real grunt. It only goes up to 12 volts. So just a secondary thing that allows you to look at charging circuits, right? All right, then it has one more trick up its sleeve, and that is, I don't think it really shows it here. Well, let's look at it on the front panel. All right, on the back panel, well, all of the connections are on the back panel, but there's a output 1, output 2. You can see here where output 1, if I go to channel, goes to channel 2. So there's channel 1 and channel 2 if by this button, channel button here. But if you go to meter and go here, it says DC voltmeter. There's a DC voltmeter built in, and it's on a separate connector in the back, okay? And I have that wired up to my little calibrator right there. I have it set to 1 volt, okay? So let me put it at 1.345, 1.345, 1.245, 1.2. Okay, let's do 2.345. There we go, 2.435, right? Perfect. And then if I add a 1, we go 12.345. So very accurate little voltmeter. The voltmeter is limited. It can go from minus 4 volts to plus 15 volts. So, or somewhere in there, minus 4 to plus 12.5. It's got a strange range. I don't remember what it is, but it's not a full voltmeter, but it has a secondary meter. So you can, in a test setup, you could be controlling output 1, output 2, and then monitoring maybe the VCC on the motherboard or something, and use that external wire for the DVM measurement. So yeah, so that's pretty clever. So it's got that built in. All right, show that off. Let's go ahead and hook up a load to this thing. Oh, okay, I have my little Miniware load. It's set to 1.125 amps. And if we turn that on, 1.25 amps. So yeah, there you go. Now, what you might notice here is look at how many digits the amperage has, right? 5 digits of amps. So it's very accurate for measuring amps. And it has an actual low range and high range. So if you're measuring really low things, you know, within just a few milliamps, you can set it to a low range, and it does really well down there. So we have pretty good accuracy though, right? We've got 3 digits, 4 digits of volts, and yeah, it's a really good measurement tool. So you don't have to have anything else. That's kind of the whole point of their selling feature of this thing. You've got a voltmeter. It acts like a battery. it can act as a current source, current sink. It's got a very accurate built-in voltage and current measurement capability, plus it has a secondary DVM measurement. So it's really kind of a system, a whole system, test system on it, in one box. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see here. Let's take this up to, I don't know, 2.27. Yeah, 2.27. So, yeah, it is a very nice machine. Okay, now I know a lot of people are going to not believe me that it actually is a two-quadrant source. So we can sync current as well. So let's go ahead and demo that. Let me get rid of my load here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up this power supply, that Rigol power supply. I'm going to hook it up to this power supply, so this will act as a load for the other power supply. Okay. So let me make sure I've got the output turned off. There we go. Turn these guys together here. All right. So it's the other power supply is set to 5 volts. Oops, right there. That's set to 5 volts. 100 milliamps of current. Okay, so right now we've got 5 volts and it's drawing about 17 milliamps of current. You can see the negative sign here. So it is actually drawing sinking current, sinking 17 milliamps of current. So the other one, remember, is set to a current compliance of 100 milliamps. So let's drop the voltage down here. Let's do voltage of 4 volts. And let's see here. Let's turn it on. Output on. And there we go. So now it's this thing is crowbarring it to 4 volts and then measuring the current. And you can see the current here is at 99 milliamps. So it is acting as a current source, and it can do that up to, about 2 amps. Maybe at 3 volts, something like that, it'll go up to 2 amps. So yeah, it's really an amazing box. I think you can see over there we're at 98 milliamps. We measured 99 milliamps, so it is doing a great job. All right, well, that's the new acquisition. It will probably show up in other videos maybe sometime in the future, but it's the Agilent 66309D. Keysight still makes this.